Beautiful dodge.
Made me feel like a real man. I just shot Cthulhu in the face. And there's nothing better than the sound of shooting a sea hag in the face. How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Is It Worth It? The game where we take a game of £20 or under, play it for a few hours, and let you know whether we think it's worth the money. With me today, I've got Master of Nothing, so say hello, Masters.
Hello.
How's it going today, dude?
It's good. It is good. I have just played a very fun game, which I'm really looking forward to talking about.
Excellent. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. So guys, today we played a game called For the King by Curve Digital. Now, for those of you who may recognize that name, they were the makers of Human Fall Flat. You may notice that there's actually a bit of a similarity in the art style and graphics, which I quite liked, and I noticed and didn't even realize it was by the same people. So yeah.
I think they also made Bombing Crew or published Bombing Crew as well.
They did. Yeah. Bomber Crew. Yeah, they did Bomber Crew.
The art style, you do see kind of a crossover with the art style in in all of their games, and I think it's it's really inviting. I really like the style. Maybe not for some, but it seems to be really colourful and a little bit unique, I'd say.
Right, guys. So without further ado, let's jump into this. Here is For the King.
Ooh, that sea hag. She is the ugliest one of the lot.
Yeah, she's not a nice looking lady. Right, I think I might take her out. Let's just get rid of her. So the first thing that really stands out to me with this game that I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy when I was looking at like the pictures and the trailer and stuff was actually the graphics and the art style.
Oh yeah.
But now I'm actually playing it and I'm seeing all the different monsters and everything. I find it really charming.
It's definitely one of those games that when you first look at it, you think, it might be a good little bit of a D&D quest, but there is so much more to it, and there is so much depth, and it doesn't make it very clear at the very beginning. I'm going to go for a stab, but I'm really liking that there is so much depth, so much change. You don't have to kind of stick with the norm in this game, and there's so much variety that you can kind of mess around with. Oh, he was nearly done then.
I would definitely have to agree with that. Because when we started, we were both just sort of sat there going, well, it hasn't really told us how to play or what to do or how anything works. And actually, there is a lot here to try and get your head around.
I think maybe the tutorial wasn't available to us because we jumped straight into a multiplayer game. So I don't know, if you're playing it on solo, you probably get it. But actually, knowing what we know now, I don't think it would be that hard to pick up from scratch if you just jumped in, with 3 friends and did a bit of couch play. Because this game is online multiplayer, but also local as well. So yeah, I think it's pretty easy to pick up and it's enjoyable to learn as well. I'm gonna do. All right, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and just the variety of monsters we've had because we've just picked the first mission there that it gave us. There's a bunch of different sort of quests you can go on. So we just picked the first one, and just playing it, like the variety of monsters it's thrown at us in the first, we've been playing 2 hours, has been really quite impressive. Oh, this looks really good.
I like it. I think that might help you quite a bit.
Yeah.
It puts your awareness up and your talent down, but you've got loads of evasion from it. I'm going to equip that because that gives me more armor. So that's quite cool. This is a really cool element, actually. You can share a lot of the loot, hand it around. You get an item per kind of match fight that you end up in, and you basically, you can kind of divvy it out among people. So at the moment, I'm playing as 2 characters, whereas Drum is actually playing as 1. And I believe that if you maybe use only 2 characters, sometimes it would be a little bit harder. So hence why we did that. But I quite like that you can kind of almost spec your character up how you choose to. I'm going to take that. Oh, I'm passing that identity scroll over to you.
Yeah, I'll have another one of them. Why not?
Yeah, they're useful, very useful. So let's go to the cellar, right? Forgotten cellar? Sound
Yeah.
good?
So very quickly, this is what we get thrown at when we first started the game. And it was quite, I would actually say it was quite daunting, in all honesty. So you get just thrown onto this, and you suddenly think, what am I doing? Like, you're sort of, you're almost playing a board game. And you're almost having to think sort of and tactically with certain things, because if you look, you've got the enemies, different levels, and also if you attack one enemy, others might join in. And you just have to move across the board. And when you actually get to go somewhere, and as you saw just then, when you fight, it then moves into a turn-based kind of encounter, which is quite an interesting idea to go into, I thought. It's almost like a mix of your Total War meets Final Fantasy kind of idea.
Yeah.
At first I thought it would be a bit jarring and not really mesh too well, but actually after playing it, I don't want to enter alone. I'm gonna have to wait for you.
Party. Oh, we have to all join, do we? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an overworld. So you drop into the overworld. There's a day-night cycle through your turns. Then each character has a turn, and you can go off into any direction if you want to, or you can do it as a team. We haven't ventured alone yet because mainly we haven't been a very good level, and on our own we do kind of struggle. But as a team, when it all comes together, it's really useful. So there's also like a dungeon, which is basically where we're going now. I'm not going to enter alone. No.
No, don't do that.
Leave. And then I'm going to move my turn. But you go into a dungeon, and then it starts to get quite intense, and we'll probably be able to show you that in just a moment. I should be able to draw everyone in, right? Is that right?
I would assume so.
There's only room for 1 down there. Oh, should I take... Okay. Enter in there. I feel he's the guy that can take the damage and probably dish out.
I'm watching.
Oh.
So this is a bit of a different dungeon. This is just looks like a single fight dungeon, to be perfectly honest. But we got thrown into a dungeon earlier, which was completely new to us. We weren't expecting it whatsoever. And it was another mechanic they threw in. So you literally go from room to room. Some of them being fights, some of them being someone who's selling you something, some of it being a chest, and some of it just being a door that you have to break down and things. And it was a really interesting turn, I thought. I wasn't expecting it in any way, shape or form. And I was suddenly like, oh my god, where has this come from? And I really enjoyed them. I thought the dungeons were actually probably some of the best bits of this so far.
It really does remind me of like a really kind of in-depth D&D quest. And I'm a bit of a D&D myself. I quite enjoy that kind of stuff. So, I'm really drawn to this. I genuinely didn't give it enough respect at the very beginning, and I'm really, really enjoying this way of playing right now.
I will agree on the fact that when I first looked at it, I wasn't thinking much of it. I was thinking it wasn't going to be that great, and it was going to be a bit of a mismatch of ideas that didn't fit together well. But actually, after spending a load of time with it, it's been really good. Oh, a strong wind. I must prevent. I lost belt item. I lost an item.
And it's this kind of thing that makes it quite fun. Like, I just lost my helmet in that last battle in the cellar, so I'm in the situation where I'm looking for a new helmet now. But it can be these random events that basically change the whole way that you need to play. Like, for instance, Drummer, I can't remember what character you are. You're a hunter.
I'm a ranger, yeah.
Yeah, and now you've become a musket man, really, haven't you? All right, Here we go.
Picked up a musket.
Amazing.
Does great damage, but I just have to reload after shooting it, but it does some incredible damage. I just failed what is called an ambush, as you saw. If I ambush successfully, it means I get 2 turns. I messed it up big time, and now... Oh, I just realised the minstrel's nearly dead.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried about that. I'm going to swap weapon. Let's go to the knotted staff. And that is my... Okay, now I am going to try and do a party heal. There we go.
Nice.
That'll help. I'm going for a stab. Fine.
That's fine. It's
So
fine. I'll just shoot him in the face. Boom. Critical 35. Beautiful.
It's alright. It was a waste of time.
Beautiful.
Change the weapon.
I would say my biggest gripe with this game so far, and I don't think there's necessarily anything that you could actually do to fix this as gripes go.
Go on.
But I feel it is quite slow paced.
You know, it reminds me of kind of like a session of Civilization. So you when you pick up Civilization, you know that you're going to be in this for a few hours, like 250 plus turns, and you kind of do have to be in that kind of mindset. You know, if you wanted to just have a day of playing some games, you know, For the King wouldn't be one of them, because these situations, these quests that we do are just really long-winded, but along the way there's a lot of enjoyment. So if you're ready for an evening with the friends, you know, jump on this, or maybe if you want to do it solo with 3 characters, you know, you can jump in that, and this will totally go through the evening. We've been playing how long now? We've nearly done
2 hours.
Maybe more hours?
I would say 2 hours. I think we've done.
And it does really. It really, you kind of just go through it. I mean, the time flied for me, if I'm honest. Oh, I can devote myself to a sanctum of purity. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Because why not? And, you know, I think that, you know, like I said earlier, if you've got a group of friends and you just want to have a good night, maybe get a few drinks and just, you know, veg out playing a game, this is definitely one of those to do it. If you're in the mindset to create a character, go on a quest, and, you know, kind of get back into those D&D days, because that really does do what I feel it does really well, and that is give you that kind of experience from back in the day when you wanted to do that kind of stuff, those kind of quests, and, you know, get some friends together. But it is limited to 3 people. One
thing I wasn't expecting is actually that the stats and everything are very in depth.
Oh yeah, totally.
Your characters are each sort of specialized in certain things. So my character specializes in sort of speed and awareness, which help him with particular weapons and stuff, like the guns and the pole arms. This helps you around the actual map, certain like puzzles and stuff actually
instances, yeah.
Make it so that you have to use certain specialities, but then also all your weapons, your items, all that kind of stuff that you equip all make a massive difference. So like your JRPGs and things like that, you have to really think about what character equips what, which once again I think is really good. I feel it's quite balanced as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're still quite early on, so we can't 100% say on that. But I would say so far it feels like quite a balanced game.
It's got a good feel to it, definitely. You know, just on your point about, you know, your characters, so you get access to a blacksmith, a hunter, a scholar, and a minstrel. And you pick either or. But I don't think that really necessarily changes anything, because I feel that you can kind of spec your characters how you would want to. So I know you get kind of an advantage on, you know, maybe for your character, your hunter, he might be a little bit quicker, might be a bit more intelligent. But as you start to pick up items, armor, there are also like instant perks that you can get, and permanent perks, which will allow you to change your character however you choose to. Oh, night has come, so there are now more enemies. I really like the look of that lost troll over there.
Right, so a few points that we would really like to talk about. The first thing I really wanted to talk about was actually the attention to detail. I thought was fantastic. All the character sprites, the monsters, the overworld, it all looked absolutely brilliant, but even down to like the most minute detail. So we had a minstrel in our party who played the lute. And one thing we picked up on was that actually, when she played her songs, it was almost like her magic. Like, she would play a tune, if you fail to do that magic, if you failed the ability, or whatever you want to call it, the tune would be all fudged up and it would sound really naff and wasn't coming out nicely. But then when she succeeded, it sounded really good and was playing an actual tune. And I thought that is such a small detail that they didn't really need to make much effort with, because a lot of people probably actually wouldn't notice. So I really liked that, and I thought it worked really well. On the point of music, I thought the music and sound effects were bloody brilliant. It really had that sort of feel that you were really actually kind of on a quest. Like, the background music that was going on actually really made me feel like I was on a magical journey, you know, I was saving people, I was fighting the monsters. It really gave you that feel and really hit home the kind of game that this was trying to be.
Yeah, I think I would say the audio cues are pretty cool. There's a lot of, like, it draws you in. I feel it draws you in, even to the cases when you go into a dungeon, it starts to feel really intense, or when you're in the overworld, you know, it's quite bright and nice, and then nighttime comes and it all of a sudden starts to get a bit dark and a bit dingy, and, you know, it definitely plays on, you know, the D&D kind of feel. I really enjoyed a lot of that. I think for me, the real thing I really enjoyed about that was probably the longevity of it all. It's very random, the gameplay is randomized, the events are randomized, everything is kind of played to chance, and then your characters are, you know, kind of the players within that. It's a roll of the dice, you know, how does it go? And depending on how you spec your characters, or which direction you go, or who you speak to, or whatever item you have to hand, you know, it will play out very differently. So you could essentially pick this up with a group of friends or on your own, and you would be playing something very different every single time. And I think that's quite unique. A lot of the time now, we come across a lot of AAA games, a lot of high-end games, and you usually just pick it up, you play it, you might do a new game plus, and you'll put it down. But I feel like you could probably come back to this maybe, you know, every few days, every few weeks, or maybe do it in a party or whatever, and it will always be different. And I feel that that is something that's going to be drawing me back to this game specifically. So let's talk about some things that we didn't quite like about it. And I guess there is a few things I could probably pick up. I don't know, you might agree on this, but I did feel that there was a lot of learning. And yes, before anyone asks, you know, or says, you know, it is a case of that, you know, you need to be into this kind of game to really get into the depth of it. But for someone who might just want to pick this up and just give it a go, it might be a little bit daunting until you start to learn the kind of mechanics around it. However, there'll be some people that absolutely get this and can just jump in and know exactly what they need to do. I think for us, it was a little bit of a learning curve. I thought it wasn't that fleshed out at the very beginning, but when you started to get a little bit deeper into it, you started to realize, hang on a minute, there is actually a lot of variety here. So it definitely changed my mind, you know, within a few hours into actually playing it. So, you know, that was one thing. I think there could have probably been a better tutorial, better explanations. However, there is an encyclopedia within the game, which again can sound quite daunting, but that is that source of knowledge. It would be nice if there was a few more tips and tricks and hints along the way that could kind of gear you up for those types of players that might not want to read through a huge bunch of knowledge, you know?
The main thing for me, I brought it up earlier, but actually was the pace of the game. I did feel it was very slow paced. There's no way of getting into it quickly. There's no way of getting through it quickly. It felt it was very much, you know, you ride it as it goes, and there's not a fast paced way of getting through anything. And, you know, some people really enjoy that, but some people might jump into this and want it to be a bit quicker off the ground. Unfortunately, if you want that, you're not going to find it here, I would say. So because of that, that does limit sort of the amount of people who would want to pick this up, which is a bit of a shame, because some people like the fantasy aspect, some people like sort of your strategies and your RPGs and your JRPG turn-based combat, but unfortunately, if they don't like it being slow-paced, they're not going to find what they enjoy here, which is a shame.
So I agree with that. I agree with the point, but I do feel that I don't think this could be a quick game. I think because there is so much depth to it and there is so much to do, it really draws it out.
So this game is 19 £19.99. It is on Xbox Games Pass right now. So, this begs the question. Masters, is it worth £20?
Yes, there is a caveat there. If you like your D&D, you like to travel, go around a world of mystery and wonder and fantasy, create some really nice characters, and do it with a group of friends, absolutely. Do I feel that it might be a little bit lost on a solo player? I think it might be lost to a few. But overall, yeah, I do. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat on that one. I think if I was on my own and I saw that, I don't think I'd pick it up for £20 if I didn't have anyone to play with. I think £20 is actually a good amount. And I think, if it wasn't for the fact we had to make this video, we could have sat there for bloody hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours.
I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave.
I didn't want to stop playing. I was really enjoying it. I really was. It was definitely something that kind of snuck up on me, and I wasn't expecting it to be as enjoyable as I found it. In all honesty with you, I really wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, I would say overall it's worth it. But I guess, tell us what you think. Tell us what you liked about it, if you played the game, if this is the kind of game for you, and you picked it up, you agree or disagree with what we're kind of saying. Just let us know in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking.
So yeah, guys, if you've got a game that you want us to find out if it's worth it or not, because you're thinking of playing it, put that in the comments down below, because we'd love to know. Make sure you go check out Masters over on his channel. There will be a link down in the description. Go check it out. He does some fantastic role-playing videos with things like Sea of Thieves, Subnautica, other things like that. So make sure you go check him out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and just, hit the like button. And we'll catch you later.
Bye!
Take it easy, everybody.